Okay. I don't know how long we're gonna play for, but we're gonna play for a minute. I was up at 4 a.m. to fly home from Vegas, so um, we're just gonna do what we can. Oh my God, look! I wonder if there's a way to adjust the brightness on this keyboard. I got my new keyboard. Okay, hold on. Let me start up the game, and then we can talk about this keyboard. Um. Okay. So, I got my birthday present. It's like, I've been wanting to customize with the keyboard, right? And I've talked about that before. So I ordered the Keyboom crystal mount gasket clear keyboard 98 key. It arrived today. It was supposed to be 5 to 6 weeks. It got here in less than 10 days, which is insane because I also ordered a kit of upgrade keycaps for the other keyboard. My other keyboard's just a white, cheap mechanical keyboard I bought on JeffBezos.com. And it's pretty basic. So I bought a little kit to spice it up a little bit. It's like purple and it's kind of got these like floral keys around the edges. And so it's a full kit. So it's got the full like basic keyboard. The numbers are front facing, or the labels on the keys are front facing, and they're clear. So the RGB will shine through them. And no worries, it does come with like the rest of the keys. It's like everything. So yeah, it's got, my num keys and everything. So I'm gonna be spicing up that keyboard when I sit down to watch TV tonight. Which could be in 3 hours when I need to actually go to bed, or it could be in an hour because we may not play for very long. I'm just like really tired today. I've already had 2 naps and it's 6:15. So anyway, really cool. Excited to customize the other keyboard. But the crystal one is obviously super bright. You can see the color of it on my face. I think it's because it is crystal. Oh, look, when you pick it up, it gets even brighter. I think it's because it is the crystal mount. It's like amplifying the light that comes out of it. They're front facing RGBs. But boop, that's it. You can't really tell because it's we're just gonna have to hold it upside down because it's plugged in. Can't really tell because the RGB's on, but it is a completely clear keyboard. You can see the crystal. The back, you can see that's the board. The RGB switches on it. So I got my cool keyboard. It's nice and like creamy and thocky, and it's got a really cool sound to it. I my mic has built-in noise suppression, so I can't do a little type test for you, but yeah, it sounds really good. Okay, so let's play a little bit. Wow. What is so much money? What are you spending on? Specialty suits. It's come to my attention. I just checked my YouTube comments from before I left for Vegas. It's come to my attention that you can make solar panels. I'm assuming it's in the lab. Okay. No, I want to talk. Can be messy work. I don't get scratched very often. But it is very messy. Here you are now. Okay, so... Oh, this keyboard sounds so good. Okay, what the hell is going on with our inventory? Was our box full? Is that what was wrong? Was that what was going on? It had to have been, right? Or was I just over it for the day? Yeah, to be fair, I might have just been over it for the day. Okay. We're at day 23, so we're not replacing anything on the farm anymore. But we will keep them seeds, baby. Do 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 do. Deliver 1 watermelon to Mark. We just picked watermelons. What? Did you say something? I had to deliver a watermelon to Mark. You're busy? No, so this loser keeps putting, I need a watermelon, I need garlic on the town board to, like, you know, have people pick up jobs. He's the one married to the farmer. Yeah, that's my in-game husband. So why is he posting jobs in public for me to pick up? That seems silly, doesn't it? You can just be like, hey, can I go out there and have one of those watermelons? Absolutely. Wait for it to be right. Knock yourself out. Oh, I keep forgetting that I don't pet them anymore. Oh my god, this keyboard sounds so good. I've always wanted one that sounds like this. They're just expensive. That's the thing. And I've like never pulled the trigger because they cost a lot of money. Like getting a really good pre-built keyboard can be expensive, and getting the components to build one yourself can be really expensive. And then you have to learn how to do it, and like having your own lube station and stuff like that. If you're going to get lube switches is a lot. These are pre-lubed, which means I will eventually have to maintain them. I will learn how to do that when the time comes. I try to walk in the big door. I will worry about that when the time comes. It'll be a long time before I need to worry about that, probably. But I'm super excited to have like actually got a really good quality keyboard. And I was really worried, right? Because you place the order and you spend a couple $100 and you're like, is that even going to be remotely worth it? Right? And I definitely had that moment of panic where I was like, what if this winds up being just some like cheap mistake? You know, what if this winds up being something that was, you know, I did a lot of research, so I definitely wouldn't have fallen into that trap. But the anxiety part of me was like, yeah, you're gonna get scammed. Which is like an extreme reaction to have, and there's just like nothing you can do about it at that point except wait for it to come in and hope for the best. And No, I pulled it out of the box. It's beautiful. It's really heavy. It's really heavy. The case it's in, the crystal mounted case, is really heavy. This is definitely not a travel keyboard. I didn't get a case to go over it either. I use my computer so much that, like, I don't feel I necessarily need one. But now my issue is going to be, like, keeping it nice and clean. But they gave me a really, really big microfiber cloth. Oh, hi, Raphael. He's, great. Cute. Okay, 1, 2. Red barrel. Red barrel. Be careful with your paw, sweetie. He licked one of his paws while I was gone. Yeah, it's not good. Ben goes to volleyball on the weekends, and so while he was at volleyball last night, Will licked his paw a lot. And his paw pad is like peeling off the bottom of one of his little toe beans. Which means I've got a lot of work to do to keep it from getting infected. But we've been here before. Infection works hard, but I work harder. No way he's gonna wind up sick. I don't allow that shit. Okay. So, batteries. I have batteries, no? One moment. Let's take that filter off. I have responded to it. Okay, so then where do you find... Is that like... a crafting thing? Solar panels? Look! You can make batteries. I'm an idiot. Okay, we're gonna have to go like make some gold bars and stuff like that. This light curtain makes me so happy. I walked in the house this morning and I was like, it was on and everything. I don't know if I ever got to turn it off or if Ben turned it on, but I was like, that's so cute. And then I got my keyboard and I naturally did a few typing tests so that I could get a good like auditory sense for what was happening. And oh, spectacular. Good sounding keyboard. There he is. You're welcome. Pay me. So anyway, Vegas. Not my first time in Vegas, but my first time actually like being in Vegas. Like, that doesn't make sense. I have stayed at the MGM Grand overnight on a layover. These decorations are so cute. But I haven't been to like experience Vegas. I'm not... Listen. I'm by no means a stick in the mud. I have had my party days. My party days are over. I spend my life playing cozy games now. And sitting at home and writing and reading books. And just generally doing stuff that makes me happy. I don't drink much anymore. I used to drink a lot. I never had a problem with drinking. It was just like where I went to school. I went to the University of Alabama. It was where I went to school. That was just what we did, especially during football season. It was like heavy drinking season. It's just like what college kids do, right? So I don't like drink much anymore. I'm from the South. Gambling is a big no-no. It's actually illegal. We don't have lotteries. Casinos are only on reservations. It's like that in a lot of states. But the casinos in Alabama, even on reservations, were like really highly regulated because you couldn't even have gaming machines. It was like a whole big thing when all their machines were seized. When I was in maybe like high school, middle school, something like that. I don't know. So I'm from a place where that is like not a good thing, and naturally I don't live there anymore because I don't really agree with anything about like just anything about most commonly held beliefs in the South. That's just not who I am. I was very lucky to have like had the opportunity to travel and experience a lot outside of the South, and that was a huge learning experience for me. So like it's not necessarily that I don't drink and I don't gamble because like that's what I believe or whatever. Like as long as you're being responsible about it, it's your money and your time. You know what I mean? But I just am not a party people anymore. I used to be party people. I'm no longer party people. I am now chill people. And that's okay. So I was a little nervous because my mom was like, oh, I've downloaded all these apps so that we can see like who's performing at what nightclubs and then we can go dancing and blah, blah. I don't dance. I left that shit behind in Europe when I packed up my bags and moved home the last time. Okay? And last time I lived there, I didn't set foot in a nightclub either. That was really just like the first 2 times I lived abroad, me. So I was a little nervous about it, and then my mom like invited a friend, which I won't get into because it's like a long discussion. And it was just like shaping up to make me really nervous about the way that things were going to shake out. And the first day, we flew in on Friday night, woke up, got breakfast, the biggest chicken and waffles I've ever had in my life. I didn't even eat half of it. I don't know if portion sizes are just like that in Vegas and they're like trying to be all like, ooh, it's Vegas, everything's, you know, whatever. I don't know if they were trying to like Texas me, like everything's bigger in Vegas, but it was a lot. And yeah, I don't know, it was just like a good morning. We went to the pool. Whoops. Went to the pool, got to do some like stuff around the hotel. I got to see some things. You know, I guess like see what it was all about. We stayed at the Rio, so we stayed off strip. The renovated rooms at the Rio, if you're like familiar with the Rio, and you know the whole, whoever owned it last ran it into the ground after it was already happening place for a lot of years. We were kind of nervous about it because we were like, What if people are exaggerating when they say it's better? They were not exaggerating. It's actually really nice, and we enjoyed it. We had a great time. The room was really nice. It was like the largest hotel room I've ever been in. So we did pool time. I got sunburned naturally. I burn one time a season. The first time I'm ever out in the sun for the season, I will burn, and then the rest of the summer I won't. It doesn't matter how much sunscreen I put on. The first time I go out, I get burned. We reapply it every hour. I get burned the first time I go out, and then I don't have to worry about it the rest of the summer, really. I wear sunscreen religiously, though. So got sunburned. Decided that we were like, hey, let's go do something for lunch outside of the hotel. Let's go down to the Strip. So we went down to the Strip, and I'm getting hangry at this point. We had been at the pool for like 4 hours, and I was just like, oh my God, he's snoring so loud. And I was just like, I'm really hungry. And I'm one of those people that I get hangry. And I eat on a schedule. Like, I have my breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner is how my nutritionist has me eating. And when I'm eating off that schedule, it makes it worse because it's like, oh no. My ADHD keeps me from being able to have normal like hunger cues. Like, my body just doesn't communicate well with itself. And so you just kind of like ignore those cues, or they don't happen because chemicals are flowing a little differently through your brain. And it's easier to eat on a schedule instead of just like, I'm hungry, and then like binge eating because you've forgotten to eat. And then now all of a sudden you're like hungry, and so you overeat and that kind of thing. It's like a lot easier to manage when you eat on a schedule. And so I do. So I get hangry when I don't eat on my schedule. And we're like, well, let's go get like a good meal. Like, let's go have something we couldn't have anywhere else. And I was like, okay, well, I don't really know what's here because it's like my first time actually, being around Vegas. And I was like, oh, there was like a billboard in the airport for Gordon Ramsay restaurants. Isn't there one at Caesar's Palace? And we're like, oh yeah, but I bet it takes reservations. And so we looked, and the steakhouse does require reservations. And it's very expensive. It's like $100 a steak, but apparently it's absolutely incredible. But what we didn't know is that Caesar's Palace has the pub and grill, which is walk-in. You can also make reservations, but you can walk in. We walked in, and we sat right down, and we ate at the Gordon Ramsay restaurant, which is like incredible. Service was absolutely incredible. The food. Okay. I'm going to level with you here. I am very picky when I eat out. Not in the sense that I don't eat much or anything like that. I just come from a family where we all cook. All of us are very good cooks. For example, I made a steak au poivre with a garlic butter mashed potato and roasted carrots for Ben's birthday, and it was the best thing I've ever eaten in my life. Like, my entire family cooks. And that was topped with this amazing red wine reduction. Oh, incredible. And I used a French wine for that because it's a little bit drier. It just has better flavor profile for what I was going for with the reduction to go with the ribeye. But anyway, we all cook. And so I go to restaurants, and oftentimes I'm just like, well, I could have made that at home, and I could have made it better. And my entire family's kind of like that. I think my sister's probably the only one who's not, because she doesn't cook, but her boyfriend does. And he's a very good cook. But it was one of those was one of those things where I was going in kind of expecting it to be just like any other restaurant I'd ever been to, but I know that, like, I mean, obviously Gordon Ramsay's like the super famous chef and blah blah blah. It was hands down. Well, I won't say hands down, because that steak au poivre I made for Ben's birthday is actually like the best thing I've ever eaten. Definitely the best thing I've ever cooked. But you know what? I do think I've been dreaming about that meal at Gordon Ramsay's Pub and Grill for 2 nights straight. It was that good. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I think it takes the cake for the best meal I've ever eaten. And not just because like one thing was fabulous out of all of it, but because every single course, we did the 3-course dinner because it was a better meal. It was a better deal. Every single thing I ate was a solid 10 out of 10. Solid 10 out of 10. And I can't tell you the last time I went out to dinner or for drinks or anything, and I just thought that like everything I ate was a 10 out of 10. I don't think I've ever been out and had something that good. I had the best mule I've ever had. So I got a cocktail. It was a Johnstone mule. So it was like a wild berry vodka as opposed to gin, which is normally why I like mules, but I was like, I'll try it. It was a wild berry vodka, very good quality vodka, with, you know, the lime and the ginger beer and that kind of thing. They garnished with strawberries, which was really good. And it was just like the perfect mix of sweet from the berries and like bitter and tangy from the ginger beer. And it was just such a well-made cocktail. I just showed a lot of effort. It was fantastic. And then we did the 3-course meal. So first course was a super salad. You could do a traditional Caesar. I can't eat traditional Caesars unless they have a vegan dressing on them. And traditional Caesars never have a vegan dressing. They do have anchovies in them. I'm allergic to all seafood, both fish and shellfish. So I can't have a Caesar. And in a restaurant like this, you don't do substitutions. So I got the soup, which I was going to get the soup either way. It was an onion and ale soup. It was basically like a French onion soup, but instead of using wine to deglaze, you use ale, which is definitely a more British thing. And I did like that. I thought that was kind of cool. It was fabulous. The Gruyere they melted on top was so good. Even my mom ate it, and my mom doesn't like cheese. Really good. It just, like, there was not a single thing I would change about it, except maybe add a little more acidity, because the onions got kind of sweet. But I actually kind of enjoyed how sweet it was, because the flavor profile from the ale contrasted it very nicely, and I thought it was very good. I don't know, it was just really good. And then our main course, if you know anything, oh, he's trying to walk home, baby. If you know anything about Gordon Ramsay, you know he's known for, hello? Oh, my inventory's full. You know he's known for, or one of the things he's known for is beef Wellington. So main course is beef Wellington. I know I've got some of that in there. I'm just trying to stack whatever I can. Okay. Those are different qualities. Ugh. Yeah, so you know he's known for beef Wellington, if you know anything about him. And yeah, It was really good. I am not a mushroom fan. I'm going to be honest. It's earthy in a way that I just don't appreciate. And I know that's like an odd thing. I'm generally okay with them flavor wise as long as they're not the star of the dish. I think they can really help round something out. What I hate is how they feel in your teeth when you chew on Big Tex Streeter. Mushrooms squeak in your teeth, and I can't stand that shit. So I don't cook with them. I don't eat them. I just generally try to stay away from them, and that's one of the big ingredients in beef Wellington. Obviously, is it's 10:40 anyway. We're just gonna go to sleep. That's one of the big ingredients in beef Wellington. Oh my god, I've never seen the getting into bed animation before. It's mushrooms, right? It's the prime rib, and then you do the prosciutto and the mushroom basically puree on it, Drusel's. And then you wrap it in puff pastry, and then you bake it, and it has to be like perfect to make the puff pastry cooked and crispy, but also without overcooking the prime rib. That's a very simplified way to describe it. If you don't know what it is, if you do know what it is, you're gonna be like, you probably didn't explain that well. It's because I don't know how to make it. It's like one of the top 10 hardest dishes to make, by like considered to be one of the top 10 hardest dishes to make by a lot of chefs. So yeah, I was really impressed by that. It was really good. It literally melted in your mouth. I'm not normally a mushroom fan. I loved it. It was just... It was incredible. It was really good. They served mashed potatoes, asparagus, and carrots with it. First of all, the plating and the presentation was beautiful. Because that's kind of what they're known for. It was really beautiful, and that was really cool to see and get to experience. But genuinely, mashed potatoes are a salt sink, right? Like, they're kind of like grits. And I don't know that you've ever eaten grits, dear viewer. I understand that's a southern thing. Kind of like grits, where they're just like a flavor sink, right? Because potatoes are just kind of hard to get seasoned right. And they don't do salt and pepper on the tables, obviously, because it's Gordon Ramsay. Shouldn't need salt and pepper. You shouldn't be setting the expectation that salt and pepper is going to be needed. So why would you put them on the table, right? They were perfect. Literally perfect. The carrots weren't overcooked. And carrots are scary in a restaurant, right? Because it's really hard to make them when you still have like a little bit of crunch, but you want them to be cooked. You want them to be soft enough to like not have to work very hard, but you still want them to have that fresh crunch. You want it to be balanced. And that can be hard to do in a restaurant because you're cooking volume a lot of the time. Unless you work in this like, you know, exceptionally wonderful, I missed an egg. This is an exceptionally wonderful environment, or, you know, whatever. But normally you're cooking for volume, and that was not evident here because it was perfect. I also don't normally love asparagus. I like asparagus, but I don't love the stems. I think the stems get bitter. Not an issue. Not an issue at all. Like, everything on the plate was perfect. And then the red wine reduction they paired with it, it was literally just a smear on the plate. But it was fabulous. And that prime rib on its own, like the last couple of bites, I just took the prime rib out of the puff pastry because I was like, I just want to see if the prime rib is that good without the puff pastry. It was. Yeah, it was actually perfect. So, yeah. When I say like life-changing meal, it kind of was. I've literally been thinking about it nonstop since we ate. But then we had dessert because, you know, it was 3-course. So we're already like super amazed. And I think my eyebrows disappeared into my hair while eating that because the entire time I was eating, I was just so impressed with how consistently that meat was cooked and how tender it was. And it was just perfect. I normally am not a mid-rare kind of person. I'm normally very much a medium kind of person. But obviously, like, that's how beef Wellington is cooked, is mid-rare. And I was like, yeah, it's gonna be fine. It's not like you can really just say no, don't just cook it extra. Like, no, you don't do that with a dish like that. You don't do that with a dish like that. That's a good way to fuck it up for yourself. So yeah, that one may have changed my mind. I don't know. It was just so good. And then I'm literally sitting there. My eyebrows are still in my hair. And it's like, all right, y'all ready for the best part? I was like, that wasn't the best part. And then the waitress comes out with this sticky toffee pudding. And sticky toffee pudding is my favorite of the British puddings. I already knew I loved sticky toffee pudding. I love paying for stone. It's okay. At least it wasn't trash. Sticky toffee pudding is my favorite of the British puddings. And I'm going to be honest, that's the best one I've ever had. It was delicious. It was served with some ice cream and the caramel sauce. And it was just like, wow. I kind of wish I had some right now. It was a really good meal. Like, we were full. We were really full. My portion sizes were normal. They weren't egregious. They were just like normal portion sizes. It was just that, like, it's 3 courses of, hey, here's normal portions of things. And so you're like full at the end of the meal. And it was just everything from the cocktail to dessert was absolutely incredible. I was so impressed. So, that was definitely the highlight of our, like, in Vegas day. And then we walked around. So we walked around Caesar's Palace to see the mall and that kind of thing. Because it's, like, it's definitely the most impressive one there. In my opinion. I know some people who are, like, partial to others. I know the Venetian's cool because you have the canals and, like, I mean, that was cool. But I think as far as just, like, pretty goes, Caesar's Palace does it really well. I love the ceiling in there, how they have kind of the pink lighting so it looks like sunset. It's just, they do it really well. And I can appreciate that. It really does feel like you're outside in some portions of it, which is cool. I will say though, just by nature of being in Vegas and the whole, like, they purposefully try to time warp you so you don't realize what time it is. So you're, you know, in there spending your money and like, you don't know what time it is in the casino so that you stay longer and you're spending more money. And that's, like, part of how they get you. The lighting was aggressive. It gave me a really bad headache. So I had to get, some medicine for a headache. Which was like, okay. I don't love aggressive lighting. like obviously I never turn on the lights in here because they're like wall sconce, horrible, like lighting, and they can be really aggressive because they're like directly eye level. That's why I have the light curtains and I've strung up the lights on the ceiling and that kind of thing. Like all that stuff is all I really want one of those, but I know I'm gonna have to finish upgrading that net, and then figure out my shit. But yeah, I just don't love aggressive lighting, and so that was pretty unpleasant. But it was cool getting to walk around and see stuff. But we were tired from the pool, so we went back and we went to bed early that night because we decided when we were eating breakfast. We were on the phone with my mom's twin, and she's like, well, why don't y'all just like wake up in the morning and do a helicopter tour of the Grand Canyon? And my immediate response was, Venmo and we'll do it. She's in a very different tax bracket than we are. And while like that stuff in Vegas is definitely less expensive than people think it is, like if you go out to Grand Canyon West, they're like $2.99, right? I am not a drop $2.99 unexpectedly kind of person. It took me years to decide to buy my $200 keyboard that I will be using for years. You know what I mean? So like, it is just a little different. But we were like, you know what? I bet a rental car would be really cheap though. And so we looked up rental cars and we were like, $29 is not bad. So we rented a car and we went to Arizona. So we didn't even spend the whole weekend in Vegas. We did one Vegas day. We feel like we got our share out of it. We didn't touch a casino. I had maybe 4 drinks throughout the entire day. And I'm a heavyweight, so I never at any point felt any of them. Like, I don't know. It was just really cool. Because we just were like, yeah, let's rent a car. And so we woke up and picked one up and drove to Arizona. It was a couple hours. Went to Grand Canyon West and decided to go ziplining. Which was really, really cool. I would love to go back and do one of the helicopter tours, but because I think that would be really neat just to see like the scale of it. But one of my bucket list items is doing one of those like multi-day excursions, like go backpacking in the Grand Canyon with a guide. Stop licking your paw. I would really love to do one that has like you hike down, you do like rafting, some things on the water, camp, and then hike back up. I think that would be so cool. I would love that. But I'm an outlier in my family in that I love doing like outdoorsy type things like that. My mom was just like, yep, I've seen it. That's it. I'm like, no, I want to experience it. But I did convince her to go ziplining. And so we went ziplining. That was super fun. It was the longest one I've ever done. And you zipline over a couple washes that feed into the canyon. And I think over the long zip line, you're like 500 feet up, which is really cool. If you're afraid of heights, maybe not. But it was really neat. It's really windy. If you've never been out there, it's like super windy all the time, basically. Because you're in the desert, there's nothing to break the wind. And yeah, it was just kind of cold that morning, but we went out and we did it. We were the first people there because we woke up really early to get the rental car. But we were the first ones there, so we got to pick what car we wanted, and I'll keep that. got to, I don't know, I guess just be kind of choosy, which was neat. We got the new version of the Rogue. It's like the brand new Nissan Rogue. I drive a Nissan Rogue, and so I was just interested to see what the new one was like. And so we got the new Nissan Rogue, and it's nice. And we got the SL, which is the one with the upgraded interior package with like the leather seats and that kind of thing. Because I have a Nissan Rogue SL. I have a floor model that we got on New Year's Day, and they were just like, every discount in the book, we'll give it to you. We've got to get it out of here. We've got a new floor model coming in tomorrow. So I got really lucky with mine. But it was kind of cool seeing the new one for a day. And so we took it out, and we got out there. We did the zip lining. We were the first people there. Because a lot of people that go out to Grand Canyon West, it's only 2 hours from Vegas. So like a lot of their tourists come in for day trips, and Vegas is a late rising kind of town. And so by the time we were getting ready to leave, people were just getting there. And so the manager wasn't even there because I guess people don't show up on time. And also it's April, so it's not like it's high season yet, but I guess people just normally don't show up on time. So the manager wasn't even there yet, and the cash register wasn't open. And they were like, yeah, but here's like, we have to wait another like 20 minutes. The manager's on the way. He should be here within like 20 minutes. But like, here's a map. You can go hike out to this viewpoint, like right on the rim, and take some pictures. You'll be like the only people out there. It's a really nice hike. 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out. We're like, okay, whatever. So we went, and literally we were the only people. Like, we got to take pictures and stand there, and it was just us. Us and the lizards. It was really quiet, and it was actually kind of spooky. Because it was just like, I don't know, it was, being out in the desert alone like that is kind of wild. But we came back in, and there was one couple in there, and they were from Hungary. They were very nice. They went ziplining with us. And by the time we finished with that, we were like, yeah, that's sick. Like, I've never seen the Grand Canyon before from the ground. I've always seen it from airplanes. So it's kind of cool to like zip line it and just like get to experience it in an adventurous way. That's the kind of thing that I prefer to do anyway. So I'm trying to think and talk at the same time, and I'm obviously not very talented at that. So yeah, we're gonna make some solar panels anyway. I don't know. It was just really cool. It was just really cool. I love adventurous things like that. I love getting to experience something and interact with it. My mom's friend that showed up at the pool was like, oh, you should go skydiving. And I was like, yes. And my mom was like, no. I was like, okay. Like, I would absolutely do that. Why am I making fertilizer? What the hell am I doing? That's just, I absolutely am the kind of person to do that. I think that would be so cool. But obviously she's not. And all weekend she was like, you would go skydiving? I'm like, hell yeah, I would go skydiving. Like, don't even play with me. Of course I would. That was fun. Ziplining was fun. Ziplining is about as extreme as she will get. Which is fun. It was really fun. We've done that several times before, at other places, so it was still kind of like a comfortable situation where like she knew what to expect and everybody felt good about it. It was nice. I was still the person every single time we go. I'm always the one to go first. Like, all right, who wants to walk all the way down the platform to line 1? I'll do it. Clip me in. Like, it's the farthest walk from the stairs. And so several people will get up there and they're like, I don't like this. And then you're looking down and the canyon's like 500 feet below you. And you're like, this is really tall. And I'm like, strap me in, folks. And so I was the first person to go. I was the first person to go on the obstacle course in Mexico. I'm always the first person to go on the obstacle course we like going to in Georgia. I was the only person in my family who rappelled in Mexico. There was like, we did this zip line course where it's like an obstacle course and then a zip line and like several zip lines connecting the obstacle courses. And then you can rappel down from the towers at the end or walk down the stairs. My sister was like, nope, did not hesitate to walk down the stairs. I've actually never seen her walk so fast in my life. And I was the first person like, clip me in, I'm rappelling. And they were like, you know how to belay? I was like, yes, I know how to belay. Rock climbed. And they were like, sick, see you at the bottom. And they just kind of let me go. And it was awesome. But I love doing stuff like that. It's so fun. I just enjoy it. So we got to do some cool zip lining. And then went into the gift shop. The line for the buses by that point, because we'd already done the zip lining and everything. The line to get to like the skywalk, that glass horseshoe bridge over the canyon that's like fairly popular. We didn't have tickets for it because you can't even take your phone out there. And I was like, well, then what's the point of doing that if you can't like go out there and take pictures of the view and that kind of thing? Because I'm a big like photography person. My house is decorated with like my travel photography. Like that's not mine because I've never blown anything up that big, but like that wall is all my travel photography. And there's just generally like there's more of it around the house. Like that one is too. So I'm a big, like, I take pictures of my experiences and that's how I remember them. I don't just like buy a whole bunch of things. I take pictures and that's what I like to keep. And I just didn't see the point of doing that if we couldn't go out there and take our own pictures so that I can come back and frame them. So we had already been to the rim without the traffic, or the, the crowd. So we were like, oh, we feel okay not doing that. So we didn't. And we were gonna go and do the walks around there, but the line for the buses was so long by that point, and we still wanted to do Hoover Dam. We just decided to go. I did buy another dream catcher for my collection. My grandfather was really, really like inspired by native culture, and actually used to go out and search for arrowheads. He had paintings of famous Native American warriors all over the house, and so like I kind of grew up with that. My grandmother is also like multiple sides of my family. We have Native American heritage as well. Not enough to really like matter, right? But it's so cute, our farm. And like he used to go out and search for arrowheads, right? So I inherited his collection or whatever I wanted out of his collection when he passed. So I have several really cool pieces like these. That's the spearhead. And I have, this is a cool one. This is a knife. They would have used that on fish. It's very sharp. It's very, very sharp. And you can see where it was honed and chiseled. It's really cool. I also have several very unique pieces. Like this is a drill. That's a drill bit, basically. It's really cool. So we've always been students of Native American culture and history, and I got that from him. And he always loved the legend of dream catchers. And he had a collection of his own, and he always kept one on his bedpost right above where he slept. Because he wholeheartedly believed they worked. And so when I was little, we went to the Cherokee Reservation in the Smokies. And he like bought me a dream catcher one time, and I don't know whatever happened to that one. That one was a little more. The next time we went up there, I bought another one. It's a bigger one. I still have it. And then the next 2 times I went up there, I bought one each visit. And so now I have like a wall with dream catchers on them. I only buy them on reservations. And I only buy them if they're made there. And so now I have 3 from Cherokee, and then this one I just bought from the Huapalai reservation. So it's kind of cool. It was, it's obviously like they bubble wrapped it for me so it wouldn't, get bent. But I was able to get it home because it was flat and packed down in my backpack, which was really nice. Yeah, you do. Please, Mark. I have places to be. Please move. How come they get to yell at me when I'm in their way and I don't get to yell at them? But yeah, so I got a dream catcher for my collection, and then we left and went to Hoover Dam, which was pretty impressive. Like, obviously, it's one of the greatest engineering feats in American history, and was really big, internationally when it was built. Nothing on that scale had ever been attempted at that time. One of the only government projects that ever came in early and under budget, which is really cool. Unheard of, right? But it was just like really cool to see. It's massive. The bridge almost impressed me more than the dam, and obviously the dam is impressive. I'm not discounting the dam at all, but yeah, the bridge was incredible. And I guess my hyperfixation for the day was weight. I really wanted to know how much the Hoover Dam weighs. Like how much concrete, like how many pounds of concrete did it take to build the Hoover Dam? If you know, please tell me. Could I Google that? Yeah, probably. But I wanted to learn there. And I couldn't find anyone who knew, or any like graphic or anything that told me. And concrete is usually measured in like cubic yards anyway. So you have to then look at, okay, well, how much does 1 cubic yard of broken up concrete weigh, and then convert that. We did that for the bridge. The bridge is 19 million pounds of steel, and then 37,500 tons of concrete, which is obviously way more steel than concrete, but it's still impressive, right? Hey, stop licking. Really impressive, right? Like, what a big number. I can't fathom that much concrete or steel, right? But I wanted to know how much is like in the dam, because that's so much concrete, and it's like one of the greatest engineering feats in the history of our country, and I just like wanted to know. I don't know. I never learned. So, if you know off the top of your head, because you're a person like me who's just not satisfied until you have all the answers, let me know. I haven't looked it up because I'm salty about the fact that I couldn't find out at Hoover Dam. I'm also pretty salty about the fact that they closed the damn food court. Ha, that's a dad joke I didn't mean to make. I'm also pretty pissed that they closed the damn food court right when we got there, and I was getting hangry, friends. It was an emergency. I was getting really, really, really pissed off. Okay? It was not good. And I could feel myself like starting to get mad. And we walked in the door and they looked at the guy who was in the back of the line. They're like, yep, you're the last. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I missed it by 5 feet. So that was heartbreaking. I'm a little upset about that. I think I'll always hold that grudge against Hoover Dam. But it was cool. We did get to go back to the hotel and then we ate dinner at the food court. They newly renovated the food court at the Rio. And it was really good. Everything there was really good. I had a big bowl of ramen and it was like some of the best ramen I've ever had at just a quick place like that. It was pretty cool. I probably will not sell this. Because it's really good quality. I may use it for other things, but anyway, smelting. I smelted some stuff. But anyway, yeah, that was our like Vegas weekend. Nothing weird happened really. No crazy stories. We didn't do any drinking or going out or anything like that. I wanted to play a game or two. My mom was like, no. She's lived in small southern towns her entire life. She's just a little closed-minded about a lot of stuff. And by a little, I mean a lot. Which is fine. But she could probably work on that a little bit. It's hard. It's hard when you've grown up somewhere where, like, you are taught to think a certain way and you go out in the world and you realize maybe it's not that serious. Like, it's hard to break that mentality. It took me traveling for a really long time to realize that, like, I can form my own thoughts and opinions. So, that's what I spent my 20s struggling with. So, and I'm lucky that I got to do it so young. So, she's just having to do it at an older age. But she'll get there. But yeah, I kind of wanted to just like sit down and play a little bit of blackjack or roulette and just like take out $50 and be like, this is all I'm spending. I'm expecting to go home with none of it, but didn't do that. I also wanted to ride the roller coaster at New York, and when we went by, it was down, and so we just didn't want to go back because we had been in Vegas we'd been in Arizona all day. So yeah, there are a couple things that I'd probably like to go back and do. Obviously I want to go back to the Grand Canyon and do other stuff, but it was a pretty good weekend. No crazy stories, no weird tantric Costco glizzies to tell you about. It's pretty good. The only really dramatic thing was last night there was like a group of people congregating in the hallway, and this kid started crying in one of the rooms, and this girl was like being really loud out in the hall, and you could tell she was really drunk. It was like 2 a.m, and this dad popped out in the hall and was like, "What's the matter with you?" get in your room. And she literally shut her mouth and walked in her room. We didn't hear her again the rest of the night. This whole ass other person's dad came out in the hall and was like, what's the matter with you? Go to your room. And she did it. It was so funny. Okay, he said coins. Coins. Huh. That's fair. Indoors kind of feels like that for me sometimes too. He's so sweet. But yeah, nothing really weird or dramatic happened. It was just a cool weekend. Was it relaxing? No. I'm deadbeat tired, and we went to bed early every night, but that's because we were waking up really, really early. So yeah, I don't know. It was pretty cool. Got to do some really neat stuff. Oh, and when we were there, the desert's in super bloom right now. Because of all the rain they got earlier this year, the desert got a lot of rain this year. Hey, big boy. I think he's waiting to go on his dinner time potty break. And I think he's probably hungry, so this will be our last day so I can feed him and take him OUT again. Hey, sweetie. I see you. I see you. Thank you. I need to put a little bit more coconut oil on his face. He's getting red again. His ears perked up when he heard coconut oil. Because he knows I give him a little bit to eat. I give him like a teeny little like bead of it so he's distracted while I'm putting it on him. But he's getting red again. So he's probably itchy. It's almost time for his Benadryl too. What time is it? 7:15. He'll take his Benadryl in an hour. So he's probably starting to get itchy again. But yeah, the desert got a lot of rain this year. So it's in super bloom right now, which is like super rare and only happens for like a few days. Ben used to live in the desert. That's why he hates the desert. And he was like, oh my God, like what lucky timing. People used to travel from all over the US to come see the bloom in Borrego Springs. Like, I can't believe you're there during that time. It only happens a few days out of the year if there's enough rain. Which was really cool. So we got to see a desert bloom. Didn't plan that at all. Had no idea that was the thing. I had just happened to read an article on the super bloom in Death Valley the day before. That was it. That's the only reason I kind of knew that, like, oh, there'll be flowers out there. But it didn't strike me as like it didn't strike me as a strange thing until Ben commented on how lucky we were to have seen it. And then his mother was like, oh, I can't believe you're out there during that. That's incredible. And I was just like, wait, is that an actual thing? Turns out it is. Which is really cool. So we've seen some cool stuff this weekend. But I came back and logged into work like normal. So we're filling up this damn bucket every day, which means we're probably not focusing on what we need to focus on. I'm doing too much just running around doing dailies and gathering stuff and doing the same shit every day. I need to be doing something different, probably. Hello, you scared the shit out of me. So yeah, we got to see some cool stuff. We weren't even anticipating going to the Grand Canyon. We thought we were going to spend like Saturday by the pool and Sunday we'd do stuff on the strip. but honestly, like a half day on the strip was kind of enough. It's stinky. And when you're not drinking, the later in the day it gets, or if you're just like drinking casually, the farther the day wears on, the more you realize that like you are an outlier. And it just starts to stink, and then people around you kind of start getting like aggressive, or it's just like, ooh, you got to be a little more aware of your surroundings. It's not in a dangerous sense, just in like a drunk people are unpredictable, and it doesn't matter who they are. That's just the way people are when they're drunk, and that's not being rude. It's just like you never know when somebody's gonna stumble into you or whatever. So just to be a little bit more aware. So as the day wears on, it was just kind of like, okay, it's getting time to either get lit or get gone. And we decided to get gone. So we did. But like, I don't know, early 20s me would have gone absolutely crazy in Vegas. Like and not even with the like spending money and gambling thing. I literally think it just would have been, I would have been there drinking with my friends. And I for sure would have been blacked out at some point, probably. Like, but that's just not who I am anymore. So I can appreciate that time in my life for what it was, but it is not my reality anymore. That's okay. So, I don't know. I think the way we did it was fun. So yeah, those are my Vegas tales. They're not particularly super interesting. They're just what we did. It was kind of fun. Like, it's cool being in a place where you can just decide, hey, let's just rent a car tomorrow and go to the Grand Canyon. Okay. Like, I've never been in a position to do that, obviously. I'm from Alabama. So, I thought that was neat. It was really neat. So yeah, that was my weekend, but now I'm back. Tonight, I kind of told everybody that I just wanted to rest. Because I need it. I've already had 2 naps today. I'm already yawning. We don't have any groceries. So I have no idea what I'm going to have for dinner. Our bread was moldy. We don't even have bread for sandwiches. So what am I going to do? Maybe I should have thought about this before I sat down to play games. Maybe I should have gone to the store and just gotten a little bit of sourdough or something on my lunch break. I don't know. Either way, I'll figure something out for dinner. I do wish I had a loaf of sourdough, though. I would make just some eggs and toast. It's kind of a bummer. But, yeah. I don't know. Just wanted a relaxing evening. Tomorrow I also don't have any plans, so I'll probably be doing this again tomorrow. Wednesday I may play for a little bit before I go golfing. But I am going golfing with one of my friends. And then, is that a monkey? Okay, I was like, who's doing those flips? Who is that? Is that Rafa? No, Pablo. It's Pablo. This tattoo on his arm. So yeah, Wednesday I'm going golfing, so I may play a little bit before then. She's not free until 6, so she coaches softball. I have 2 friends that coach volleyball, so it's like really I mix them up a lot. But she coaches softball. So I'll do that Wednesday night. Thursday's D&D, obviously. Next Thursday's not D&D, but I do have a fantasy map making class, and that's the day Will's having surgery as well. So he's gonna be a little zooted from his procedure. And then that evening, while he's asleep, I will go to a class just down the road for an hour or so. Should be really cool. I'm really excited for it. And yeah. So no D&D next week, but Ben will be gone. So I will be playing a lot of games probably. Ben has to go to the UK for work and he's pretty pissed off about it. Because he's like, that's 2 days where I could be like actually getting work done, but I have to go and socialize with people I don't really like and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, you're getting to go to the UK for free. He doesn't get to do anything fun though. I mean, he's literally there working. He's pretty upset about it, but it's work, and that's the expectation for work. Oh, there's no there's no trash in there. And that's the expectation for work, right? It's not supposed to be fun. It's just work. So he's going to the UK, and then he flies back, and then instead of flying home, he's going to NorCal to meet his parents, and they're doing like a little camping trip, and he'll come back the day before my birthday. My birthday's May 1st, so he'll be gone from Saturday until the 30th, so he'll be gone for 10 days, and then he'll be back for my birthday, and then he'll turn around and leave 2 weeks later, and then he'll come back, and he'll be here for 2 weeks, and then he leaves for the summer for work. So baby. So yeah. Let's exclude global inventory on that. Let's just go ahead and do it. I don't see any reason to wait on that, really. So yeah. In the summer, I do a lot of games and that kind of thing because I'm here by myself. Because Ben has to work in LA. So, hey, sweetie. So yeah, I'll be kind of playing a bit. I'm gonna see if there's any way to like maybe dim the lighting on that keyboard a little bit, because I did all this stuff to fix the lighting, and now the keyboard is like making me look like Disco Cat. If not, we're just gonna be Disco Cat all the time because this keyboard is legendary. But yeah, be definitely doing a lot of videos when I'm here by myself, because obviously I'll be by myself. This week, probably Monday, Tuesday, maybe a short one Wednesday, and probably Friday. Saturday is D&D. Sunday, most definitely. And then once Ben leaves, it's gonna be like every night that I don't have plans with somebody, basically. So yeah. This is only an hour and 20 minutes, but I'm really tired. So sorry. I'm really tired. I woke up at 4 this morning because our flight was really early. So, it was just so early. It was so early. So, yep. We'll end that there. I gotta take care of Mister. I really do want to see if there's any way to, like, look how bright that is from the top. Like, look what a difference that is. Oh, you can actually see it on the ceiling. Which is kind of crazy. But yeah. We're back. We'll try to get into more of like our regular thing. The only night next week I know of that I definitely will not be making a video is Thursday. Just because that's like surgery day and class day. But Thursdays I normally don't anyway because of D&D. But yeah, there definitely might be a video every day except for that while Ben is gone. Because yeah. It do be lonely. Anyway. Alright. Well, have a good night. Talk to you tomorrow. I said tomorrow I'm free, right? Yeah. Tomorrow I'm free because Wednesday's golf. I don't know. I'm so tired. Okay. Have a good night.